What's up, guys? How you guys doing today? It's a beautiful day today, ain't it? The sun's out. It's hot, but it's not humid. That's the thing about Memphis. It's hard to get these nice hot days when it's not humid out. So I just wanted to introduce myself a little bit. For those of you who don't know who I am. Still trying to quit these things. Anyway, my name's Joseph. I'm a spoken word recording artist, the author, and this is going to be my YouTube channel. Now, I've had a lot of ideas for channels in the past. Do I want comedy channel? Do I want something for my music? Do I want, pranks, daily stuff? And then it hit me, and it's like, let's just do everything. So this first vlog is going to have just that. We are going to have the daily life. We are going to have the pranks. We're going to have the comedy. We're going to have the music. And as y'all can tell, this first vlog is a long one. And I did that for the reason that, I had a lot of really good stuff happening to me lately that I wanted to share with y'all. So there's a lot of previous footage that you're going to see that's tied in. There's a lot of new footage that you're going to see that I'm going to be recording. And, this is just to give y'all that initial introduction for those of y'all that don't know me. So let's get to the vlog. Struggles of my life, the guidance on the page through God, and the finished project that is spoken word. I am the author. What's up, guys? It's about 2:40 right now. Finally got let out for my lunch break. Got no sleep last night. Got off at 11 o'clock. Had to be back up here at 10:15 for a 9-hour shift. Needless to say, I'm still getting used to these 9-hour shifts again. Did not get enough sleep to make it work, but I'm pushing through. Gotta do what you gotta do. Did have a nice surprise happen today. Ran into one of my coworkers from back when I was at Produce, and got a new nickname. Those of you who know who I am, you'll know about a month ago I got impatient waiting for Halloween to become Wolverine. So I went ahead and did it. Dyed the hair black, got the chops, everything. So ran into my buddy, and now got the nickname of Whoa. I guess short for Wolverine, so that was pretty cool. Just trying to make it through, man. Got another 4.5 hours. Hey guys, today I want to start a new segment that I'll be doing for the vlogs about the unsung heroes in my life. And today, for the first vlog, I cannot think of a more humble and special person than the one I'm about to talk about. This man, over the 16 years that I've known him, has helped me in so many ways that someone who's been in my life situations could only dream of. He wasn't just someone that I saw in the school setting and even after graduating that school, coming back to it over the years. Um, he became the father figure that I needed early on in life, since mine had passed away when I was young. This man is Mr. James Lodato, that I know as Coach. This all started back in first grade at Raleigh Bartlett Meadows Elementary School. Coach was hired on that year as the PE teacher, and the previous PE teacher went on to be a regular teacher and still remained at the school. Now, I don't even know where to begin. We didn't have, the extracurricular classes every day. We had PE, once, twice a week. Music, same deal. It wasn't like other schools where, high school, for instance, where you have extracurricular classes and you go to those classes every day. But Coach had so many other roles. He acted as the crossing guard. He helped direct traffic at the school. So there was not a day that went by where you didn't see him either directing traffic or walking the halls, a couple times a day. And early on, my parents got a divorce when I was 4. And then we moved from Colorado down to Memphis. And once everything was situated, my father ended up not getting granted parental rights. So my siblings and I were lucky if we got to see him once a year. There were some consecutive years that went by where we didn't see him at all. And so early on in my life, I needed that male figure that wasn't, a relative, somebody to look up to. And I found that in Coach. He wasn't just a teacher, I don't think, to anybody who went to that school. He was a friend, he was a mentor. And over the years, he's helped me, helped mold me, helped guide me along the path to getting better emotionally and physically and mentally. And I wouldn't be anywhere if it wasn't for Coach. I remember the elementary school had extracurricular events, and I honestly do not remember if this was a Dads for Lunch type event or a graduation from a grade or something. But I remember the one time that my father actually came up to the school. And, at that point in my father's life, he was wheelchair bound. He was mentally handicapped. He was in a car accident that left him paralyzed from the waist down. So I remember the looks that the other kids, gave us that day when my siblings and I were so happy to push our dad around the school and introduce him to everybody. And I remember the one person that I told myself could not go without an introduction was Coach. And there's certain things at a young age that a child doesn't really recognize, doesn't really understand. And now that I've gotten older, I've begun to understand what things that happened back then truly were and truly meant. And I remember the moment that I introduced my father to Coach. My father had this look in his eyes, and at the time I couldn't quite pinpoint on what it was. And we bragged. Coach was our favorite person up at that school, and everyone in the family knew it. Family was always coming around to events and luncheons, PTA meetings, anything. If Coach was there, everybody saw Coach and had long conversations, long talks. So my father knew, even early on, the kind of man that Coach was. And I don't want to speak for him because he's no longer here, but I believe that at that moment he was trying to find a way to thank the man who was helping to form me into the man I am today. As the years went by, I graduated back in 2003. Went to Craigmont High School, which then led to Cordova High School, and RBM was known for their field day event. And that was the one day a year that, even if I had to fake an illness and go to a doctor to get a doctor's excuse, I would find some way to make it to the old elementary school to see everybody. And over the years I would do this. Some of the other teachers would definitely get jealous because I would get there and I had plans on, visiting everybody and, hey, how's it been going since the last time I saw you? What have you been up to? How are things going with the students? And it never failed. I'd say 90% of the time I would get there and I would spend the entire day along Coach's side, either in the classroom or walking the halls. And the other teachers definitely knew it and were definitely jealous that their favorite redheaded kid was always coming around and didn't spend very much time with them. And I do apologize for that. But it was those moments, those sit-downs with Coach, those, I'm having a crisis right now, I don't have anybody to talk to. Those were the times that I'll cherish the most. Because here to the general public, this was a former student coming to a former teacher. And in my eyes, this was a boy coming to that second father, that father figure that he never had growing up. And I will always remember that. I would not be here right now if it wasn't for Coach. I would not have gone to the Poetry in the Park for the Tennessee Poetry Society and been introduced to spoken word if it wasn't for Coach. I would not have made it through all the situations in high school, and looking back, if I didn't have someone like Coach in my life, I can't guarantee that those attempts to take my life would not have been successes. Everybody has those moments when they're trying to take their life, where it's a wake-up call, and it's a final, do you really want to do this? And it's difficult sometimes to try to distinguish between the two, to try to your life flashes before your eyes, and you're trying to balance the hatred and the pain and the sorrow that your mind makes you think has been your whole life, and you feel alone and helpless and lost. And on the other hand, you see all of the good, and your brain, which has that chemical deficiency that is all mental mood disorders, your brain struggles to make a difference between the two. And I would not be here if it wasn't for Coach. I would not have gone to Poetry in the Park with the Tennessee Poetry Society. I would not have been introduced to the art of spoken word if it wasn't for Coach. I would not be where I am right now if it wasn't for that man. The push to get better, the push to keep going, the troubles with high school, I dropped out, and some of you know the reasons why. The rest of you can ask. I'm an open book. I'm not going to hide my past. But at one side, I remembered that, my family was not for it. My family hated that my mother took me out of school, even though back then it wasn't her decision. I was 17, and in the state of Tennessee, you don't need parents' consent to drop out of school. So the family, to this day, still has trouble understanding why I did what I did. Because it's, in their eyes, it's hearsay. They weren't there when all the stuff was happening to me. Nobody was. I was alone. The only people there were the ones who were doing the stuff. But I remember that initial conversation with Coach, a couple weeks after my 18th birthday party with the family. And, that in itself should tell you something, because my family is very family oriented, and, there's moments where my siblings or I can try to say, hey, can somebody join us for Sunday lunch or dinner or whatever, and it's immediately turned down. But there was never a moment where an invitation to Coach was made and he was not welcome. And there was a lot of stuff going on that day, So it was very difficult to talk to Coach. But I remember that initial conversation I'd had with him a couple weeks after, where I told him what had happened and why I did what I did. And he wasn't mad, he wasn't upset. His views, instead of trying to put me down, his words were uplifting, and it gave me courage to continue going. You know, he made it simple. You know, high school is not for everybody, and college is not for everybody. You know, you gotta keep your heart in the right place and just keep going on with your life. You know, get a job, start making money now while you can. You know, start a path for your life and don't give up. And that conversation got me through so much looking back, because that's something that, you know, people I'm around very frequently, you know, couldn't find the right way to say. But in this day and this moment, I can honestly say that I would not be here without the push to keep going from that man. He became a second father to me, and at the moment, the only living father that I have. And that is something that I will never forget. I can't forget.
The one thing I remember about Joseph, and I was his PE teacher in elementary school, if he believed he was right about something, he would not back down. That's the kind of courage that I admire in him. And I'm very happy to have a relationship with him, even though it's been years and decades since I first seen him and his brother and sister bouncing in the cafeteria.
You doing all right, man?
Not really, bro. Man, life's stressing me out. I got drama at work, I got struggling to get things done around here. I just don't know what to do anymore.
I'm gonna tell you what you had told me. Take a minute and look at the good times you had.
Yeah.
Remember that time he did a prank on Red?
Man, he was pissed.
Tell me about it.
Alright, so he got pissed off at 1. Then we did one more. We're going to do 3 at once. 3, not 3. 3. 3 at once. Here we go. Can I pause it? Can it be paused?
You remember that time also, your birthday gift, your family gave you a special invitation to a comedy show. You did a prank with Brian Brady.
Man, that was something else. I never thought he was gonna pick me out of the crowd and invite me on stage, man.
You are you're a Jack in the Box. Ready? That was the link and sexy Jack in the Box. Yeah. See, that was really good because a lot of times guys are early when that happens and you weren't first. So that's good.
He hangs out with Jeff, the dentist.
When I get up at 11, this is my dance. And you can,
Honey, I have a surprise for you.
what's that, sweetheart? I'm so tired right now.
Oh, I'm taking your ass to Biloxi.
What?
We've been married 20 years.
And oh, you know me? The day we met,
I know.
what did I tell you?
You
What
said
did I-
someday you're taking my ass to Biloxi.
Do you? Oh my God, I love you so much.
I even packed your bag for you.
You packed my suitcase?
I did.
You packed my suitcase?
It's got wheels, so you can push it and it'll roll along.
I've got a... You are the best wife ever. Oh my God. Do you know? You know what's in Biloxi, right?
I do.
In fact, I'm gonna play my Biloxi slideshow and show you some of the pictures that I've saved over the years.
Okay, let's look at the slideshow.
This is the great Ferris wheel of Biloxi. Click, click. Yep, it's just one cart, but for right now.
And here's the first riverboat in Biloxi, the first gambling boat.
Click. Click. And it also happens to be the cast of Tom Sawyer.
Well, let's get ready to go. The taxi is waiting right over here.
Oh, there's the car, right?
There's the taxi.
Okay, so we gotta go out and get, but first I've gotta grab your coat.
Thank you,
You
dear.
gotta grab your coat and I'll throw it over your shoulders. I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
grab your coat.
Grab my coat.
You grab your coat, that's
Grab
right.
my
I'm gonna
coat.
grab your coat.
Grab my
I'm
coat.
gonna grab your coat.
Grab
I'm
my
gonna grab
coat.
your coat that's right here. I'm just grabbing it right now.
Can you grab my other coat?
Oh, you know what? This isn't your coat. This is your jumpsuit that you like to wear.
I'm just gonna go naked this year.
Oh, you want to wear the other coat?
Oh, not well. Okay, sure.
There
Oh
you
my
go.
God.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man.
Remember the night that we got this?
I do. Why does my coat always smell like menthol?
Nothing says I love you like menthol, baby.
That's right. Well, let's hop in the car, honey.
Car, it's a pretty big car. Oh, is this the trunk?
Yes. I'm just gonna hang on to the trunk and run.
No, don't touch the trunk.
All right.
Hey, trunk, how old are you? 26? I'm gonna get in the trunk.
Okay. All right.
No, but this is a weird car, honey. This is a.
Wake up! You slept through the cab ride. We're at the airport.
Oh, we're here.
Yes.
Here we go.
Walk through the security thing to make sure you're carrying no metal.
Gotcha.
Security device.
All right. Just as effective as the real one.
Come on through here. All right.
Sweetheart, I cannot believe that we are going to be in Biloxi.
I know.
I love you so much.
Well, let's climb up the ladder to the plane's door.
We're going to climb the ladder?
It's Memphis.
Gotcha.
Oh, these flight attendants are getting frisky. Somehow my carry-on became a strap-on. I'm not sure what's happening here.
I didn't know that they gave the nuts this early in the flight.
Oh, here's your seat. We made it on. There's your seat.
Here's my seat.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to sit right here.
You're in the
baby.
middle seat. I'm sorry.
That's all right, sweetheart. I'm going to sit right
Sit
here.
right there in your seat.
All right, I'm going to sit right in my chair.
I'm gonna sit in my chair.
I'm going to
I'm sit in my chair.
I'm going to put on my seatbelt.
I'm sitting behind you for some reason.
Well, by the ring on the seat, if you sit any closer, someone's not going to be happy.
Oh, honey!
Huh?
Bad turbulence. The oxygen mask is falling in front of your face. Put it on. Oh, we landed. We landed. Are you okay?
Yeah, I think I passed out for the duration of the flight.
Did?
Here we are.
Beautiful Biloxi.
Wow. So what do you want to do first?
There's the Gulf of Mexico, the beautiful sand beaches of Biloxi.
And there's one guy panning for gold.
Why don't you lay on one of these inner tubes and float out into the water?
Sure.
Yeah, lay on this raft.
You want to
Lay on this raft.
So you want me to lay on this one?
Yeah.
All right. You know, it's been a long time, baby, since I've laid on a raft. Well, why don't you show me how?
Well,
Because if I remember correctly, you have this really good face down, belly to raft technique. And remember, the thing that I fell in love with is the fact that you love to steer the boat with both your hands.
remember when we met back in 1969?
Here, I'll sit behind you. This is the only way to ride the Ole Miss. Here we are. Special, the bed talks to you.
Here, lay on the bed, and I'm gonna increase the firmness.
Oh, I don't think I want the
No,
firmness
you need to
increase.
feel the firmness. Lay on the fucking bed. I had to put on the lingerie. You're laying in the
Look out! Let's hear it for my volunteers. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Thank you, baby. Thank you. you so much. Nice to meet you. A pleasure, sir.
Really good at playing with. You vlogging right now? You so bad.
Alright, long day at work, finally over with. It is midnight. Shelby was nice enough to give me a ride home, so I don't have to walk. Because it is too dark.
Please don't vlog in the car.
It is way too dark to walk.
I was like, there's no floor. The floor is made of tans. I need to clean up somewhere. But whatever. It does look like I'm living in here. I've even got my pillow back there. But I was like, it looks like you're living in here. I was like, I'm living better than I am in my room then, because it's cleaner than there.
Say hi, Shelby.
Hello. I call you butt munch, but that's Sean's thing. That's our thing. You don't get that. It's too cold in here. Oh, and now you tired?
I've been tired.
Oh, you bitch. Anyway.
So how many crazy customers did you have today?
I was on Uscan, so I just had all the stupid ones. It didn't come out the right price. Did you hit pay now? There you go. It's like 90% of the answers.
I had a couple.
Yeah.
You know how the system will let people pay now before the transactions?
Yeah, and then they're like, no, wait, I want to change something. I'm like, put your card in. I can't do anything. Like, especially when it's a credit card. Because then, like, you can't cancel out once it's like sign. You can only print or sign. And
Yeah. So here was my thing.
Yep.
So, woman comes to the register. Ooh, light.
Yeah, look at that. Oh, it looks like I have nothing but red hair.
So the woman comes to the register. It's been a long day, so it was partially my fault because I honestly forgot to ask if she had her Kroger card.
She paid for it without the...
Yeah, so
Ugh.
she puts the card in. I get the coupon. I managed to remember the coupon. But she pays for it, and then she's like, oh, I forgot to put my card in. Is it too late to do that?
After she's already got her receipt?
And the second she said that, the receipt prints out.
I wish it was... was it on, like, Register 6 where, like, the receipt gets tossed at you, like, with vicious intent?
No, it was on 2.
Aw.
I was on 2.
You know what I'm talking about that, right? For some reason, the receipt's on 6. They just, like, they cut themselves off and they go poof at people.
Yeah.
They fall over the edge and, like, make people scramble for them. But, you know, I didn't have terribly stupid people. I did have that one guy, the Middle Eastern, like, Indian kind of accent.
Yeah, I must have missed it.
I don't know. He's always complaining about coupons. I'm like, dude. I was trying to help other people and he kept, like, dragging me over to my register. And he was calling me by my name, which freaks me out. I'm like, stop it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is very creepy. But, you know, he was interesting. But, no.
I had a good laugh, though. I had a woman come up getting wine.
Past 11?
And I asked for her ID. And she goes, I'll let you see it, but you have to promise you won't laugh at the picture.
I think I know which lady you're talking about. I've seen the picture.
Yeah.
She was like...
So this woman brings her ID out, and I look at it. And I mean, it's not a bad picture.
But she looks
it's a
goofy
funny
as
one.
hell.
Yeah, it's a funny one, but it's not a bad picture.
She's like...
So I put in the birthday, and then I take out my ID, and it's like, don't worry, at least you don't look like a serial killer.
Yeah, in your mugshot.
It ceases to amaze me. I can get professional photo shoots done all day long, get nice pictures taken, but any DMV picture, I always look like a serial killer.
Fair enough. That's your problem, man, not mine. I just look fabulous. No, mine looks really crappy, because, at least on my driver's, because, what happened was, I went and got my driver's permit, at, 16, and then my parents always were taking Blake to baseball, so nobody really ever had time to teach me how to drive, so it became a year where I got to the point, I think I'm one of, like, 5 people who have to get their driver's permit renewed. I had to get my it renewed at 17. So my dad wakes me up. This is before I work. So my dad wakes my ass up at like 7 in the morning, and I'm like, dude, I need to he's like, let's go to DMV and get this thing renewed for you. It expires today. And I was like, well, dude, I have to like go take a shower. My hair looks like I haven't showered in 3 days, even though I showered like just the day before.
Yeah.
I was like, let me at least shower. He's like, no, it's fine. They're just gonna update your old picture. You don't need to look nice, whatever. I was like, I don't even have makeup on. He's like, whatever. We just get in the car. So we go, and they do not update the photo. They made me take a new one. No makeup. Hair looks like it hasn't been washed. I have one piece of like hair going straight down my forehead, which I proceeded to scratch out with a thumbtack later because it annoyed me so bad. And then now I have the stupid one I have right now, which my hair color doesn't even match what I have. I have that awkward moment where I was trying to figure out what my hair color was. Like it asks, like, "What's your hair color?" And I was sitting there like, "Do you want the real answer or what it is this week?" I was like, I hovered over red and brown. And I was like, I don't know. What do you want from me?
I got cigarettes.
What do you put on somebody who's bald? There's not a bald option.
That's a good question.
I think you go by your eyebrows.
Yeah. But I was getting cigarettes like the week, a couple days after I had dyed my hair black. And I had gone to our store, which was what made it so funny. It was one of the new girls. And she had no clue who I was.
Ah. She's just like, this is with Wolverine over here.
Yeah, so she looks at the ID.
What the hell is that? Why is the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air on your porch?
It's probably JT.
I don't know. All I see is that hair, man. In West Philadelphia.
Yeah. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for today's vlog. Be sure to check back Monday as I'll start the daily vlogs in just a few days. Just got the weekend to get through. Want to let y'all know if y'all have any ideas, be it prank ideas, video ideas, anything and everything, please give this video a thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section below. You know, I did this channel not only for myself, but you guys as well. So anything and everything, let me know. Until next time.